Great greetings, everyone. NatJamMedia here, and welcome to another installment of the SpongeBob Reviews. Today we're reviewing the Season 7 episode, I Heart Dancing. And before we cut to the review, we've hidden the episode's title card somewhere in this review. Can you find it?
SpongeBob is dancing to work. He's annoying Squidward. And there is a customer in the Krusty Krab who is a talent scout or something for a dance company. And she wants to give SpongeBob an audition, which makes Squidward jealous. Squidward tries to do things to sabotage SpongeBob's chances so that he can step in.
I think the one thing about this episode, it feels like it drags on.
It wasn't paced very well.
The setup happens fast enough, you know?
Right, the setup was fine. Yeah, the second act really went on for a long time. And then when you get to the third act, the payoff, it's really short.
Yeah.
Really, really short. Spoiler warning. Squilliam makes an appearance, but his appearance is sort of not handled well because you didn't get the reaction from Squidward that I would expect in that situation. It's almost like they didn't know each other.
Instead of having Squidward dance for Squilliam, Squidward just said, "I'm out," and then SpongeBob comes in. So Squidward still technically loses in the end, but SpongeBob gets to keep dancing. Also, what's weird is that when the dance audition happens, whatever her name was, I don't think they gave her a name. Her name is just Dance. Thing.
Dance Scout.
She looks around at the theater, and then SpongeBob isn't there. Then when Squidward starts dancing, SpongeBob and Patrick are there.
Yeah, Patrick's there, and they're eating popcorn.
So did SpongeBob just...
Don't you think SpongeBob will walk up to the coach or the scout and say, "Hey, I'm here to dance"?
The episode tried to have jokes. There weren't that many, but it tried to, but it kind of forgot to add the humor to it. For example, SpongeBob is making all the Krabby Patties, and then this one guy gets a Krabby Patty, a drink, popcorn, and then a knight falls.
A suit of armor. I don't know where that came from.
I think that joke could have been funny, maybe if you didn't have all those food items pop up. If it was just the knight falling onto the table, that might have been funny, but having all those food items drags the joke out too long. When you do that, that makes the expectation be like, oh, he's gonna keep getting stuff that isn't Krabby Patties. Where if the suit of armor was the only thing that fell on his table, that would have averted your expectation because you would have expected it to be a Krabby Patty.
What saves it for me from being a really bad episode is there is some really nice animation in this episode. They do some really creative things with that. So
they also do this weird thing where like SpongeBob pulls off the top and then there's flowers inside and then Squidward gets the flowers but then he sucks them out with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
But the joke was that Squidward
had a vacuum cleaner handy
and pulled them out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the joke been they died when they touched Squidward's hair? See what I mean? They had setups for good jokes but they didn't do them.
But we're reviewing the episode as it is, not as it should have been, so...
Mm-hmm. As well as this episode's very similar to Slimy Dancing from Season 5.
Which I've never seen.
But the plot is almost exactly the same. Except in Slimy Dancing, it's SpongeBob and Patrick who get the dance audition. Of course, in Slimy Dancing, it has this exact opposite problem in that the dancing sequences are too short. And they spend like 30 seconds there, and then it just cuts into the climax, but at least the climax of Slimy Dancing is like 4 minutes instead of like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So with all that in mind, what am I going to give this episode? What is Jam going to give this episode?
Let's find out.
The issue with I Heart Dancing is that it just doesn't have really anything. It has a few little segments of good animation. It just feels like it drags on forever. It had missed opportunities on jokes. And just is really forgettable, especially when there's already another dancing episode that's better, that came out before, with better animation. It's a light one, but I'm going to say it's a bad episode.
And I'm going to give it a bad as well. I do think the animation saves it from being awful. Not an episode you'd probably ever want to rewatch.
Yeah, this is one of those episodes that would only be watched if you were watching an entire season, not one that you'd want to go back to.
And next week, we will be doing a Season 4 episode.
Yep. Which we probably should have done at Halloween, but we're doing it at Christmas because...
Is that a hint?